Welcome back then to the website, because we're looking forward to the Ladbrokes World Hurdle. And joining me, hopefully they're going to be giving us a winner, is Andy Gibson and Mick Fitzgerald. But first off, before we get their views, let's have a look at the prices. And it'd be no surprise, Big Bucks, he's very short. He's a 4-7 chance. Carraback, 7-1. Tidal Base, 7-20. You can see it's wide open if you take the favourite out of it. I think the Time for Rupert might run okay at 20-1. But just looking down these big prices, the Irish horses, Power Station, what a cheer wouldn't it be if the old boy War of Attrition could come home. But he's massive price. He's a 33-1 chance. So we were talking earlier on about races being very one-sided, Boise, and it doesn't get any better than this.
Well, he absolutely dominates it, so much so that he's been rather under-discussed, probably, Big Bucks. It's almost as if everyone sort of looks at this race and files it under Big Bucks will win, and they move on. 4-7 he is. He's taking about 63.5% of the market. And the trouble is that right or wrong? I can't find any errors in it. Let's have a look at some stats and see if we can find any reason for opposing Big Bucks. I'm afraid as we run through these stats, you probably won't find much to give you any solace if you're looking to get this hot favourite beaten. 4 of the last 9 winners finished the first 2 of the Cleve Hurdle. Well, that's a positive for Tidal Bay if you do want to take on Big Bucks, although of course Big Bucks is a previous winner of the Cleve Hurdle, having taken it on his way to success last time. No 5-year-old has won the hurdle since its inception in 1972. He's 7, the favourite, Big Bucks. Ingles Drever, the only horse aged 9 or over to win in 20 years. They do seem to have a sort of finite shelf life, these repeat Ladbrokes World Hurdle winners, but Big Bucks comfortably in the zone still at 7 years old. The Irish haven't won the race for 15 years, so it's not been a happy hunting ground for them, and only one front runner has even held on for a place since 1996. And Big Bucks, as we know, likes to be sort of held up, does often hit a flat spot, and will be produced fairly late on. He's trained by the right man, he's ridden by the right man, and I have to say, Luke, looking at it, crucially for me, he's the right price. I'm quite happy to take on short price horses if they're the wrong price, or to be with them if they're the wrong price. But to me, 63% of the market, 4-7, it looks absolutely spot on. The right price, Big Bucks.
It might be the right price, Boise, but is it any value, Andy?
Big Bucks, best chance of winning this race, nice and simple. He's got a much stronger profile and proposition than, say, Dunguib earlier in the week.
I was going to ask you that. You've got the likes of Dunguib and Masterminded. If you had to row in on one of these real shorties, would it be this one?
It probably would be. Probably would be. This one or Masterminded.
I like the way the probably bit.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're talking like that because you're looking at the opposition as much as him. I mean, what legitimate horse has got in it that can beat him, really?
Well, the point with short price favourites at the festival is they all look like they should win, probably. But in the last 5 years, there's been 7 even money or odds-on favourites. 2 of them have won, 4-11 and evens. Each of the 5 losers all look like they should win before the race. So, you know, you've got 5 this year. This might be the year that all 5 win. So if you think that's going to be the case, stick a small accumulator on the 5 and then forget about them and get on with the rest of the field.
But you think this is the strongest of all these odds-ons, of all the shorties? This would be the one, is it?
Probably.
Fitzy, what do you think?
I like this horse. I think if you look at the tape of last year's race, him and Punchestown had it between them.
There was no Punchestown in this race, is there?
Correct. There you go. So he's a long way clear of the rest of them. You're looking for something with a bit of value. I just think this fella, one day he's going to throw a race away because of his style of race. And he goes through a flat spot and suddenly you think he's beat. And then he'll start to run on and suddenly, I'll never forget, I rode barbershop in a novice chase one day at Newbury against Big Bucks. And I kept thinking, I'm going to get him, I'm going to get him, I'm going to get him. All the way up the straight, I thought I'm going to go by him. And I couldn't get by him. He beat me ahead, but he may as well have beaten me 20 lengths. I never looked like getting past him, and I think he's a very deceptive horse.
I posed the question for you in the Champion Chase, how many jockeys are actually going to go out and try and ride to win or get placed? Now, I put it to you, in this race, if everyone else bar Ruby Walsh decides to be clever and not make it any sort of gallop, and let's make it a tactical affair. This horse, the one thing he hasn't got is mid-race tactical speed, has he? He's a stayer. That's what, you know.
He is, and especially if you add that to the fact that you may get slightly better ground than what we've experienced in the past here at Cheltenham. This horse, if he's going to get found out, it's the only way he'll get beaten.
Yeah. Andy, if people that don't want to take the the short price about him. What is the alternative?
Well, Tidal Bay's been first or second in all 9 races over hurdles. He's yet, unlike Karabakh, he's yet to prove that he cannot beat big bucks.
Yeah.
He's got a chance on good to soft. He's got the second best chance of winning this race, whereas Karabakh, although he'll be better on better ground compared to the heavy he ran against big bucks last time, I think so will big bucks on good to soft. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. It doesn't mean to say that they will improve pro rata, but it does mean that big bucks has got a verdict over Karabakh, which he hasn't got over Tidal Bay.
Have you got any view on Time for Rupert, the horse that I mentioned? I love him. I know he's got a massive amount in the ratings to make up with big bucks, but I like his overall profile. I think he's a nice horse.
For me, Time for Rupert is the bet of the race in the market without big bucks. I think you just got to ignore big bucks, get him out of the way because he'll probably win. For me, 10-1 is just a little bit too big. He hasn't quite got the chance of Tidal Bay and Karabakh, but he's within touching distance.
He's less experienced, let's be honest. He hasn't had the chance to perhaps post as many, as much decent form.
Possibly. He was giving weight to Tidal Bay last time out. That was soft ground. Tidal Bay will definitely be better on good to soft ground. Time for a Rupert maybe so as well. He certainly won on good. He's a little bit behind the second and third favourite, but he's within touching distance. And the other thing with Time for Rupert, in my opinion, is that he is the best short-priced bet of the week if a bookmaker matches him up with Sentry Duty in a match. Now, for me, Sentry Duty is a non-stayer. I can understand why they're going for this race. He's not good enough for the Champion Hurdle. He's too high in the handicap. They've got little choice. They need to go here, but we need to take advantage of that. For me, Time for Rupert will be second favourite to beat Sentry Duty. He could be trading as big as 6-4 if somebody matches him up, and that's a better bet than any of the other short price favourites at the festival.
Well, let's ask Mick Fitzgerald about Sentry Duty. Is he a non-stayer?
I don't think anything about him says that he will want to trip as far as this. So for me, yes, I think he could be a non-stayer. I think in a small field where he's able to just do his own little thing, I think maybe it could suit him like it was last time.
When Nicky Henderson logs on to that race's website and he finds out, why am I running? He's a non-stayer. What's the point in running him?
No, he's taking his chance because there's a lot of money to be had if for horses to finish second. And I think if it's a tactical affair and they go slow, Sentry Duty could be the one to take advantage. I think in a truly run 3-mile race round Cheltenham, he will be found out. But if it's tactical, he could benefit.
I suppose War of Attrition will take them along, but it's not going to be a mad gallop, is it? I mean,
no,
it can't be.
Davy Russell, he should be called Davy. I will not make the run in Russell because he doesn't like making the run as a rule. He loves to ride that weight in race. And he knows if he goes quick, he's going to set the race up for big bucks. So he'll ride the race to suit himself. OK, well, I think we know, Andy, what you're going for. Time for Rupert.
Without big bucks and to beat Sentry Duty in a match. And if the ground did come up soft, then that would be an even stronger bet.
I like your style. I like the way you look at different angles. Fitzy, what we're going for?
Has to be big bucks.
Yeah.
But I think you're looking for value against him, so Karabakh possibly.
OK, thank you very much, boys, then. That is the Ladbrokes World Hurdle. Big bucks going for win number 2.